Alright, hello and welcome back to the life and suffering of Sir Brante. We're in the year 1135, spring, the Code of Laws. You are on your way to the largest library in Eterna to study for your entry exams. It is right next to the college. The streets are full of people. Everybody is excited. You hesitate for a few seconds, then let your curiosity get the better of you and head towards the place where you will soon study. Before long you hear the shouting. The great chancellor is about to give a speech about the future of the empire. You cannot possibly miss this. You mix with the crowd and soon find a convenient place to listen and watch what is about to unfold. On the steps of the college you see a small tribune guarded by two Archnians armed with swords. This is the first time you have ever seen an Archnian standing guard, let alone two of them. The doors of the college open to reveal a stately Archnian surrounded by an honor guard. It is he, Cornelius Tempest, great chancellor of the empire, younger brother to the emperor himself. He heads for the tribune and casts a look over the square. It is full of people in awe and utter silence.
Long ago, humans witnessed the Archnians' arrival. The two nations built the empire side by side. The provinces joined us one by one, and Magra was the final province to attain the absolute might and majesty of the blessed Archnian Empire. Yet there was another great event long before that. 4 centuries ago, the twins had graced us with their presence. With their arrival, the twins granted us their will. They showed us their love and their law, and they granted us knowledge of what awaits us in the hereafter. They chose the dynasty of Tempest to rule the empire, and from that day forth our dynasty has ruled this land, ordained by the gods themselves. However, it is our duty to the twins not to seek power for power's sake, but rather to lead the empire to further prosperity. And so the great Imperial Council is soon to review and adopt a new set of laws called the Creed. Under the Creed, all estates will be granted rights. Under the Creed, there will be one law for all Imperial citizens to obey, human or Archnian, from the lowliest commoner to the Emperor himself. The strife among the estates will end. A single law will resolve all of our quarrels. Glory to the Empire.
Something tells me he's going to be assassinated. The great chancellor throws his arms into the air. The crowd murmurs and applauds in approval. Cornelius Tempest casts another look over the crowd and leaves. The crowd disperses. The sounds of agitated discussion are everywhere. Is it true that the Emperor's dynasty seeks to grant equal rights to all estates? What will happen to the Empire then? Struggle for power. Okay. The girl from your past. It is early morning. You have been awake since sunrise, studying. There is a knock at the door. Is it a letter from home or a hotel servant? You open the door and freeze stunned. Go away, Sophia. Nothing ever goes right if you're here. Hello, Brante. Before you stands Sophia, the girl who used to live next door. She's all grown up now. She looks so different, but you would always recognize those blue eyes, no matter what. You gesture for her to come in. Sophia enters the room, glances around, and sits in an armchair. You eye the girl you used to know as you sit across from her. But the young woman you see now has little in common with the girl you used to know. There is cold steel in the way she looks at things. Her hair is cut short. But what is she doing here? I can explain. I've been living in Eterna for a long time now, ever since I ran from Anizot. I heard the other day that you left for the capital to get into the college, so I found you and here I am. You ask how Sophia learned about your arrival and where you are staying, but she answers your questions with an enigmatic smile. We'll get to that later. Right now I want to see how much you've changed since we last saw each other. As for me, I've changed a lot. I'm a whole different person now. You look away as you recall your previous encounter back when Sophia ran away from her Archnian master. Sophia chuckles as she continues. Would you like to know what happened next? I traveled through the entire empire all alone. I had nothing. My journey ended only when I reached this place, the capital with all its important people and events. This is the heart of the empire. It's a place where I can make a difference. I've made friends here, found people I can truly call my family. I've even gotten an education of sorts, and I have a purpose now. I fight against injustice. I fight against the lots. I fight those who treat our lives like mud on the pavement. And no, I'm not afraid to tell you that. I came to you for a good reason. I need help. I know you. I have faith in your good heart. And besides, this is also about the Imperial College you want to enroll in. There is a scholar there by the name of Bartholomew Dextra. He teaches natural sciences at the college. Dextra is an old man, but he's quite progressive. He'll stop at nothing to advance science and acquire new knowledge. As you know, only second-generation nobles or above are allowed to teach at the college, but Dextra, he's a commoner. He forged his patent of nobility to get a position at the college. But secret chancellery recently learned of this. Dextra is about to face true death for this forgery. But how is that justice? A man wants to teach people, and for this they're going to take all his lives? They're going to punish him for the crime of being born in the wrong estate? It's evil and obscene, and I will not stand for it. Dextra deserves to be rescued. But I don't want to put anyone in danger, so I need your help. You're from a rich family, you're almost a noble. If you help me get Dextra out of the city, nobody will suspect anything. No one will know, and the scholar will live on to continue his research elsewhere, far away from the secret chancellery. Will you help me?
You feel perplexed by Sophia's sudden request. She is asking you to break imperial law and undermine the work of the secret chancellery to save the scholar. Rescuing Dextra would be an adventure, but it would also be incredibly dangerous. And besides, Dextra is a fake noble. He resorted to lies and deceit to get to his current position. How much does this matter to you? Sophia's blue eyes are studying you, waiting for your reply. Sophia wait, let me have a look at that. Where is... Probably here. Sophia. She's embittered. After what you did, Sophia realized that the world is cruel and does not deserve to be spared. And she's -1. You know what? I think she might well end up killing us, but I do not want... Wait, where? Back to scene. I do not want to help her. Or let me rephrase that. I might not be opposed to helping her, but this basically is a choice between helping her fully and not helping her at all. I'd rather not help her at all than fully immerse myself into this really dangerous plan to rescue a person that I have no connection with. I frankly don't really care about. Sure, he's doing, I don't know, probably doing a good job teaching at the university, I don't know. But no. No, you say. You're not going to help Sophia. You're not going to break any laws for her sake. You did not come to the capital for this. Dextra, a fake noble, deserves his fate. I wouldn't go that far. He tried to fool the law, the college, and the empire itself. Even a scientific genius must be punished for such forgery and deception. He had a paper that said he was a noble, but only a sacrament can make a person a noble, so Dextra's crime is also an affront to the gods themselves. Sophia leaps to her feet, her eyes burning with wrath, about to shine with yellow light again. You cringe involuntarily. Your law makes slave of us all. We are born, we live, and we die, all to serve those who were born in a higher estate. Is this the order you want to protect? The fire in Sophia's eyes fades. She suddenly grows silent, then continues calmly. Then so be it. I don't blame you. It's not easy to break these chains when you've been wearing them ever since you were born. They bind you better than any magic. I hope you realize this before our great empire chews you and spits you out. Goodbye. Bye. Sophia leaves, the door shuts behind her. You return to your books. The entrance exam is coming up and you have to work hard if you want to achieve your goals. A few days later, a newspaper article catches your eye. Bartholomew Dextra, an elderly lecturer at the Imperial College, was arrested while attempting to escape the capital. The scholar was sentenced to breaking on the wheel and subsequent true death for forging a patent of nobility. And so the fake noble suffered in death as he was supposed to suffer in life. Yep. Valor and diplomacy, nice. Good stat progression that is.
I will never forget that day. For it was then that I chose the path I would walk for the rest of my life.
That line delivery wasn't bad. The free lots. There are only a few days left until the Imperial College entrance exam. History, law, theology. You spend all day reading and rereading the books you brought with you, staying at the Library of Eterna for hours, sometimes until it closes. As the day of the exam approaches, your hands start shaking more and more, and finally, the day comes. A clear sky hangs over Eterna today. The breeze is warm. You dress in your best outfit, a grey jacket and velvet culotte trousers. You comb your hair carefully and polish your boots until they shine. You leave the lodging house and head for the Imperial College. Your legs grow heavier with each step. Your anxiety at the fact your fate will be decided today is virtually tearing you apart. The college is a majestic building that looks not unlike a castle. In the square in front of it you can already see several dozen people. Young men, sons of nobles of the mantle like you, waiting for the college's doors to open. Time slows to a crawl. At last, the doors open. A stately man dressed in a professor's mantle appears at the entrance. He is the dean of the college. The students to be fall silent as the dean gets ready to deliver his welcoming speech. But the silence is interrupted by heavy footsteps and clanking armor. A squadron of warriors emerge near the college, led by Arcanian officers. Their banner bears an image of golden grains. The noble militia of Monia province? What are they doing here? The nobles of Monia form a circle around the college, each warrior moving quietly and precisely until a chain is formed. One of the Arcanians is clad in an old-fashioned suit of armor. He is the leader of the militia. He locks the bar on the massive doors of the college into place, then proceeds to the stairs to address the crowd loudly.
Commoners, before you stands Egerius of the Monroe dynasty, Archduke of Monia. By my will, the college is hereby closed, and today's entrance exams are cancelled. Your lowly origins make you unfit for the great honor of rendering service to the Empire, a right that ought to be available only to the hereditary nobles of the sword. The college's reputation has been tarnished. It breeds mock nobles who bear not a trace of noble blood. You belong in the lowly estate, but have forgotten your place. Cornelius Tempest and other traitors to the Empire are indulging you and defacing the institution of the nobility for their lowly interests. A noble lot for those of lowly birth? How can this be? I will not stand for this disintegration of the Imperial Order. Now turn away from the college this instant and return to the humble trades of your ancestors. Plow your fields, mend your boots, and work and suffer by your lot. If any of you dares to set foot upon these stairs, you will be killed at once.
The students-to-be meet this speech with a stunned silence. The crowd in the square is growing, however. The news of the Monian noble militia and the college's closing spreads through the streets like wildfire. More humans join the crowd. College students, commoners, officials who worked hard to be ennobled. Unrest grows around you. You hear people calling to rush Archduke Monroe's forces to take control of the college and defend your right to become noble. The Empire himself gave us this right, we have to fight for it. This is a decisive moment for all of you. The old gentry has challenged you. Will you accept this challenge? In the face of this shameful, illegal act by the Archduke's forces, you may prove that all of you deserve a noble lot. You will need to break through the cordon, get inside the college and take control of it. The nobles will never dare hurt you if your presence is strong enough. If you are ready to risk it all and fight for your rights to the nobility, you will have to lead the charge. People keep coming to the square in the meantime, including students and teachers from the Divine Seminary. The lot of the clergy is to guide others to the right path. When the estates clash, the priests are bound to intervene. The seminary teachers instruct their students to form a line between the noble militia and the outraged crowd. The priests begin telling the warrior nobles and the righteous commoners to return to the preordained divine order, lest they provoke the wrath of the gods. The wrath of the gods. As the priests utter these words, the crowd around you disappears. A vision appears before your eyes. The Empire is ablaze. You see burning lands steeped with pain and despair everywhere you look, rivers overflowing to extinguish the burning world. You can tell that soil is scorched by such fire will never bear fruit again. The gods' given vision demands to be heard, demands to be prophesied to the world. But only a priest may speak to the twins and for the twins. Will you keep it inside, or will you step onto the path the twins have revealed to you? Somebody shoves you in the back, and you snap out of the vision. You turn around to see a small but decisive troop of commoners, moving quickly through the crowds. They are led by Sophia. As soon as she sees you, she signals to them to stop.
So you're here too, going to rush to college, are you? Can't you see it already? The laws cannot be trusted. They gave you the right to study here just to throw you a bone. When the going gets tough, your masters will take it all away. It's time for you to decide. We are the Lotless, and we're not putting up with this system any longer. We will fight for a new world. Are you coming with us, or are you going to submit to them? There are students and professors locked inside the college. Who knows how long Monroe will maintain this siege? And what if they start slaughtering people? Neither group of nobles will care what happens to them. We're going to go inside and pull them out. Come with us if you're ready to take control of your own destiny.
The tension in the square is palpable, and the situation is about to implode. Students, commoners, nobles of the mantle, followers of the new faith, all of them are gathering their forces to move on the wall of soldiers. They expect the nobles to let them through en masse. Surely they won't start a massacre. The Lotless, led by Sophia, prepare to break through the siege to rescue the people in the college. And all the while the priests preach peace to both sides of the conflict. The college is your only way into the nobility. Only you can fight for your new lot and fulfill your duty to your family. You could organize an offensive strong enough to get into the college and thus seize your lawful right like a true nobleman. Yet the revelation about the wrath of the gods still pulses in your mind. Once revealed, this vision will take you on a different path. Standing with the priests and preaching what you have just seen, warning all of the dire danger on the path of warring estates, bringing the twins' word to the people and guiding them to salvation. Could this be your new lot? Sophia and the Lotless, they expect you to join their struggle. They are waiting for you to cast off the old ways and the eternal yoke of subservience. If you choose this path, you will not change your lot and your suffering will continue, but your suffering might just change this world. This is the moment. Your future life will be decided here and now. Okay, we need 10 theology and 10 eloquence to preach your oath. That's kind of what I thought. Not necessarily with the stat requirements, but purely based on logic, it makes a lot of sense that you need to be very eloquent and highly skilled in theology to actually manage to bring anything across as just this random commoner. That's what we got our 10 diplomacy for. Break through the cordon into the college. We're not following Sophia, so screw Sophia. Be prepared for this in this playthrough. We're not following Sophia anywhere. We've learned from our first encounter with Sophia that Sophia is not someone we want to associate with. I want to quickly try something. I'd like to see where or how this game's... I think the game had autosave. I'm not entirely sure. But and I mean that's completely fair. I just wanted to make ideally I wanted to save, and only in case that we get sentenced to true death or something, return to here. But that's honestly fine if we can't. Alright. Off we go. You get to work. Recalling the books on military tactics you used to study as a boy, you call out to the students and children of nobles around you and assume commands. They hear you and they listen. You stand together in close formation and march towards the weakest link in the line of nobles. More people joining you along the way. A veritable phalanx of young men armed with nothing but determination against the noblemen's swords. The noble militia readies their steel. The Arcanian officer in command of this section halts you and orders you to turn back. You step forward and give him your reply. These people are here to study at the college as the Emperor himself has decreed. You have every right to fulfill the imperial law, and any nobles who dare to intervene will be defying Ufa Tempest II himself. Your plan works. The officer hesitates when confronted with your words and your vigor. The noble militia is no longer ready to use their swords. This is your chance. You command your forces to focus their advantage in numbers for a singular push, and the militia line breaks. You reach the college gates. More people start running for the breach. The nobles get their bearings quickly enough to restore the line, but your phalanx is already inside. You waste no time and begin barricading the gate. The students who are stuck inside the college run toward you. You quickly tell them your plan. Block all the doors and windows with whatever comes to hand before Monroe's forces can get in. If they do get in, only the twins know what they will do. One by one, all the entrances are swiftly barricaded. The riot outside the college has calmed for a moment, it seems. Through an open window you hear Monroe giving orders to his militia. The Archduke is forming the Archduke? Is it Archduke or is it Archduke? I don't know right now. It's forming a strong perimeter outside the college, ready for a proper siege. Students and professors of the college go to the balcony to negotiate. You are among them.
Surrender and leave this building. I am not here to kill or execute you. No loyal subjects will die by my hand.
The humans boo and jeer at Monroe's proposal. The dean himself appears on the balcony. The imperial family established the college, he claims, and he cannot defy orders given by the great Arcanian Tempest dynasty. And so the college remains besieged. The noble militia stands in a circle around the building, but there are no preparations for an assault. The outrage in the square continues. You remain in control of the college for the entire day and the following night, but at sunrise the Emperor's herald arrives in the square. He brings news. The Emperor is delighted to see Archduke Monroe in the capital, yet he demands that the noble militia of Monia vacate the square and allow classes to begin at the college. The besieged college celebrates the news. This is the work of Cornelius Tempest, great Chancellor, the Emperor's brother. He managed to convince the Emperor to order Monroe to withdraw. Even the Archduke of Monia, the most powerful noble lord in all the Empire, cannot disobey a direct order from the Emperor. Still, the college would never have held out for an entire day without your phalanx's determination and your daring plan. You, the people of the common estate, have secured your right to study and earn the noble lot. The college is open again, and the entrance exam will take place in a few days. You aren't nervous at all this time. All the lessons at home, the books, the schooling, your own noble actions, all that work and effort has finally reached its culmination. The procedure for appointing a provincial overseer, the 5 great Arcanian dynasties, the property rights of all estates. You answer all these questions with ease. Hours pass and the dean of the college reads the names of the new students to the young men gathered at the college steps. Your name is among the first. He praises what you did in defense of the college.
People like you are the Empire's future, Sir Brante, he says.
Sunlight fills the college square. It feels so soft and soothing here in Eterna, not as harsh as it gets in Anizot. You watch the pillars shine in the sky as you walk down the steps of the college. You are a Brante, the third judge in the family, the man who will soon join the family's noble blood tide. You have seized your right to achieve the nobleman's lot. You should write to your father now. He will be so proud of you. Nobleman's path. The event has indeed happened. Like your father and grandfather, you enroll in the Imperial College, hoping to become a judge and a noble of the mantle. Bonds of friendship. You return to the lodging house one last time to gather your belongings for the move to your new home. A young man dressed in the uniform of the military academy greets you by the door. It takes you a moment to recognize Tomas. Your friend locks you in an embrace. Brante, hey, how are you? I heard about the nasty stuff that went down in the college square. Those damn gentry would do anything to keep Lobon folks under their thumb. Glad the situation resolved itself. As for me, I'm an academy cadet now. He's beaming with pride. You invite him in and chat while you pack. Tomas continues to relay the news as you walk up the stairs. I made it into the top 10, can you imagine? Did pretty well in sparring and the sciences. It was all thanks to the help you gave me back in school in Nenizot. I'll be studying the art of war now, and then it's a quick march to a noble title. How about you? You tell Tomas about what happened over the past few days and of the path you have chosen. He remains quiet as you speak. Both of you realize that you may never see each other again. You know, Brante, here's what I think. You may have your own path in life, but you're my friend. We gotta make sure our friendship lasts forever, no matter what happens to us. Here, I brought 2 brass rings. If the old tradition is to be believed, both the rings and their wearers will always remain close to each other, no matter where fate takes them. What do you say? The 2 of you grew up side by side. Tomas, the audacious, hot-blooded, sharp-tongued boy who used to live next door. You can't imagine your childhood without him, but would it be right to promise him that your friendship will last forever, no matter what happens? 2 rings made of plain brass lie in his open palm. If you wear these rings, you will be bound by ties of friendship for the rest of your life. Okay. Conditions: you need path of the nobleman to do this. You take the ring that will bind your fate to Tomas's and swear an oath of eternal friendship. For taking the ring, you would need a better relation to him, which we don't have, but that's fine. And I can't end the friendship because we're noble. We cannot end friendships as a nobleman. Yep. You take one of the rings from his outstretched palm. The 2 of you have walked side by side ever since you were children. Even now you are walking in the same direction toward a noble title. You as a judge and Tomas as a warrior. Nothing will ever tarnish your bond. You swear an oath of eternal friendship to Tomas. Tomas solemnly swears the same. You put the brass ring on your pinky, a perfect fit. Tomas follows suit. He starts beaming again. Now we're friends forever, for all eternity. We gotta celebrate this. Come, I know a place I gotta show you. Tastiest meat I've ever tried, Brante. My treat. The 2 of you go to a noble salon by the square of Emperor Severin. Surrounded by tobacco smoke and mead bottles, you wag your tongues, recall the days of your adolescence, and make plans for the future. Nobody knows what could be waiting for you, but you promise you will never lose sight of each other. So I think there's possibly a slight bug in the game where if you take over your save state from the demo, your name doesn't get recognized or something like that, and that's why they're always calling me Brante instead of the name I chose at the beginning. But that's fine, that's not too big of an issue. I like how our relation is indifferent. That guy, okay. But we're bound by friendship. Alright. Swear an oath to Tomas. Year 1135, Fall. A letter from home. As soon as you are accepted into the Imperial College, you send a letter back home. The family requires quickly. The letter arrives in under a week. Most of it is covered with your father's handwriting.
I am proud of you, my son, and I believe your grandfather takes pride in you too. You have brought our family one step closer to being ennobled by the sword. You will make an excellent judge. I have complete faith in your intellect and your will. You shall bring glory to our family.
Stefan's congratulations follow your father's.
Congratulations, brother. The simple folk could only dream of what you have already achieved. You can thank father and grandfather for this opportunity, but it was you who proved yourself worthy. Once you receive your new lot, you and I will be equals at last.
I will never think of you as my equal, Stefan. Then some words of praise from Mother and Nathan.
You have brought your father much joy and made him proud, and I am witness to this. You now walk this path all thanks to him. Yet it saddens me that you did not consider the divine seminary, where you could have dedicated your life to our gods as well as the empire itself.
You worked so hard for this. We held a big feast in your honor back home. I hope you achieved all you've ever wanted. And at the very end, there is a small note from your sister.
Congratulations. Good luck.
Yep, that. Basically, my father loves me. Stefan is sympathetic. Gloria is indifferent. And Mother is just ignoring us. Okay. The ball. It is only a few days since you became a student at the college. Your education has barely begun when an amazing piece of news surprises all the students. Every year, Cornelius Tempest, the great chancellor and the emperor's younger brother, grants an honor to all future nobles of the mantle and invites them to a masquerade at his summer palace. The professors and lecturers instruct you to look and act your best in order to preserve the college's honor. They tell you more about the ball too. All who attended from the college must prove themselves with word or deeds to the members of the great Arcanian dynasties that will be present there. This means the reputation of your home province will be at stake too. It's time to get ready. You order a proper suit for the occasion and a mask to go with it. It looks simple but by no means plain and only hides your eyes. The day comes. You spend an entire morning preparing for the ball. Your fellow students give you hints about how to attach the cuffs, keep the collar straight and make sure your hair remains coiffed for the entire night. Soon the carriages start flocking to Cornelius Tempest's summer palace. The tall, ornate outer fence surrounds a sprawling garden in full bloom. The marble-paved driveway is so wide it can accommodate 2 rows of carriages. You and your fellow students walk up the massive stairs to the front door of the palace. You seem tiny and incongruous against the background of this scenic grandeur. The Master of Ceremonies instructs all newcomers to seek their province's coats of arms. You see the banner of Magra from far away, depicting the silver tree digging its roots into the murky grey soil. Below it is a banner bearing the coat of arms of the Milonidas dynasty. It turns out students from the college were not the only ones invited to this party. You see Academy cadets lined up beneath the banners too, and Tomas is among them. A wide grin appears on his face when he sees you go under the banner of Magra.
I just knew you'd be here today, pal. What can I say? Congratulations, student. As for me, I'm not so bad off myself, see? The military academy is father and mother to me now.
His merry speech is interrupted by a tall, proud Arcanian in a heavy cloak. You recognize him. He is Dorius Otton, Sophia's former master. Make way for your commander, soldiery. The last time you saw Otton, he was searching the back streets of Anizot by a house for a girl servant, but now the young Arcanian's uniform betrays his high standing. He is young, yet he is already the province's commander. Who put him in charge of all the military forces of Magra at such an age? What's wrong, you know him or something? A brief description of Otton is enough to wipe the smile off his face. You see no other high-ranking officials bearing the colors of Magra at this party. It seems Dorius Otton will be the main representative of your province tonight. You watch the other college students and academy cadets line up under the provincial banners. The blue and silver banner of Arcania, the emperor's own province, is in the very center of the hall. Judging by the hilts jutting out from beneath their belts, many of those who surround that banner are nobles of the sword. Tomas is clearly jealous. The group from Arcania stands proudly, ennobled by its iconic and dignified history. The Arcanian race and the empire originated in their very lands. A sizable group of students stand under the banner of Monia, a wealthy agricultural province signified by yellow grains on a field of ore. The wealth of the young men beneath this banner is plain to see. Their attire is on par with the Arcanians in terms of luxury, and perhaps even more vibrant in terms of color. The most numerous group at the party stands under the banner of Illyria, a yellow griffin against a field of azure. All the Illyrians are clothed in well-tailored suits with a minimum of decoration. Some of them wear gloves, most of them come from wealthy industrial families, and it seems many of them would feel more at ease in their family factories than at a noble party like this one. 3 banners represent the northern provinces of Fiona, Hermia and Constanta. These banners, like the groups associated with them, stand together. The Royal Tempest dynasty oversees all 3 of them. The students and cadets are clearly well off, yet they are dressed in modest, functional garments to honor the austere traditions of the north. And finally, the smallest of the groups is represented by an open book against Field of Argent, Assinia, homeland of the Diamond dynasty. By the order of Patriarch Junius Diamond, the open book of the new faith has been added to the banner only recently. Nearly all the young men beneath this banner are clothed in academy uniforms. They wear no adornments, but are clad impeccably with nary a button undone, the embodiment of rigor and restraint. The master of ceremony signals the beginning of the party. It is time for dancing. The first dance is a minuet, and tradition calls for everyone to dance. Harpsichord music fills the hall. The academy cadets waste no time finding dance partners and soon already making the fluid first steps of the minuets. You take a look around. One of the young ladies representing Magra catches your eye. She is slender like all Arcanians and clothed in a yellow dress embroidered with emerald green, her face hidden behind a full mask decorated with bright green feathers. What happens next seems unbelievable. The enigmatic lady walks toward you. The way she looks at you, the way she walks, the black eyes from behind the mask watch you closely. She tilts her head. There are no words, but you feel there is a question. Everyone in the hall is startled by the sudden noise. You look behind you and see Tomas getting up off the floor, his face a grimace of rage. Darius Otton stands before him, eyeing him with disgust. His arm rests on the hilt of his sword.
Who allowed this clumsy commoner inside the Great Chancellor's palace? Its noble masters are trying to dance and it's getting underfoot.
Tomas looks like he's about to explode in Otton's face, but the smug Arcanian's sword is a clear threat. If your friend's rage gets the better of him, he will end up in trouble. The enigmatic Arcanian beauty, however, quickly loses all interest in their quarrel. She comes even closer to you, expecting you to invite her to dance.
We can resolve the quarrel. We're not drawing Otton's ire upon ourselves. That's by far the worst option out of the three. I'm just saying it.
I'm so curious. Can we just... It's gonna increase our diplomacy, isn't it? I want better diplomacy. But I really want to dance with the mysterious lady. We swore an oath of friendship. Alright, Tomas. You stand between Tomas and Otton before they can clash. The Arcanian eyes you with scorn. You shower him with a flurry of apologies for your friends. Tomas has never been to this kind of party before and still has a lot to learn when it comes to etiquette. And besides, he is clearly flummoxed from witnessing an Arcanian up close. Otton smirks, just barely enough to notice.
Well said. Sometimes I forget you humans are barely smarter than beasts. Take pride in the fact that you were permitted to attend this party. You'll have stories to tell and all that. Very well, away with you and try not to get in my way. Why, I recognize your face now that I think of it. Ah, you hail from Anizot. I must have seen you on the street somewhere. There are just too many of her kind about, but you're rather sharp and you've been taught how to behave. That's a welcome sight.
You back away from the Arcanian in the most gallant way, clutching your friend by the arm. There is a mixture of rage and bewilderment on Thomas's face. Once you're far away enough, he swears under his breath and heads for the refreshments. You follow him and watch him down 2 glasses of sparkling wine like a parched man guzzling water.
You've sure got skills when it comes to sucking up to the Arcanians, friend. You saved my hide today, no doubt about it. Still feels like a bucket of slop right into the face, though.
It could have been far worse, you tell him. Better a moment of shame than a fight with a mighty Arcanian in the middle of a party. Assaulting an Arcanian is the easiest way to meet true death. Tomas says nothing to this and downs a 3rd glass of wine. Out of the corner of your eye you catch the mysterious masked Arcanian lady, all beauty and grace dancing with Otton. You could have been in his place, had you so chosen. I know. Oh, manipulation. That's also a very welcome improvement. I'll take that. Similarly to diplomacy. They're sort of on the same level for me. Alright, 1136 though. I think if I stop the game here, this should be right where we get back into it. So I'm gonna do that. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.